Well, they say a week is a long time in politics, but for UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, the last 48 hours must have felt like a lifetime.
Westminster is awash with rumours tonight of a possible challenge to Sir Keir Starmer's leadership. Robert's sources have been telling him that plotters are out to get the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer is on a two-day visit with the biggest delegation of 125 people, including CEOs and representatives from British institutes, universities and industry.
Well, they say a week is a long time in politics, but tonight it feels like the last 48 hours have rewritten the entire future of the United Kingdom. Viewers, buckle up, because what's happening right now around Prime Minister Keir Starmer isn't just political drama, it's a full-scale shockwave tearing through Westminster. Rumors are exploding, whispers are turning into headlines, and insiders are describing these last 2 days as the most unstable moment of Starmer's leadership. And tonight, a new twist has arrived, one that no one in Downing Street was prepared for. For weeks, Starmer has tried to project calm, strength, and control. But behind those confident press conferences, the political ground has been shaking. Senior Labour figures have reportedly been sending frantic messages, warning that party factions may be quietly preparing to challenge Starmer's authority. One insider said, if he slips now, even once, they'll move in. That alone would be enough to dominate the news cycle, but then came the international story that turned a leadership crisis into a geopolitical earthquake. Just hours ago, Starmer landed in India with the largest UK delegation in recent history, 125 people, including business leaders, CEOs, university heads, and representatives from almost every major British institution. This was supposed to be his big moment, a chance to showcase Britain's post-Brexit confidence, strengthen ties with the world's biggest democracy, and prove he could lead on the global stage. Instead, the moment he touched down, everything exploded in the most dramatic way possible. Sources in New Delhi confirmed that Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a stunning decision that sent shockwaves straight back to London. He rejected the entry of a high-level Labour delegation, an unprecedented diplomatic slap that nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming. According to early reports, this wasn't just a miscommunication or a technical issue. This was deliberate, a message, a warning. And the meaning is now echoing across both capitals. India is furious with Labour, and Starmer is caught in the middle of a political fight. Inside Westminster, the reaction was instant panic. Government officials were scrambling for statements, MPs were calling emergency meetings, and Labour insiders were texting journalists faster than during an election night. The question on everyone's lips was simple but terrifying. Was this a foreign policy embarrassment, or the latest sign that Starmer is losing control both at home and abroad? Some critics wasted no time, calling this the biggest diplomatic humiliation of the year, while supporters insisted the situation was being exaggerated. But deep down, even they know something isn't right. Back in London, opposition figures pounced. They accused Starmer of misreading the international mood, failing to respect India's political red lines, and endangering economic opportunities just when the UK needs them most. Commentators say this confrontation with India could cost billions in potential trade deals, not to mention the political damage that comes from being publicly rejected by one of the world's most influential leaders. And when voters see a prime minister looking weak on the global stage, it rarely ends well. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, Labour factions reportedly began sharpening their knives. One senior figure allegedly said, "This is the moment people will remember. If Starmer can't manage diplomacy, he can't manage the country." Harsh words, but in politics, timing is everything. And for those waiting for the perfect moment to challenge Starmer's leadership, this crisis might feel like an open door. A door some of them have been waiting months to walk through. And now that the cracks are widening, those same critics argue that when this grand experiment finally collapses, it won't be Britain that failed, it will be the blob itself. That's where this story begins, with voices now saying what once seemed unthinkable, that maybe it's time to talk not about governing, but about cancelling the Prime Minister. And while that might sound like a joke, a throwaway line meant for shock value, the reality is much darker. Because this comment touches a nerve that goes deep into the heart of British politics. It echoes a time, not so long ago, when people really were punished, silenced, and even jailed for challenging the approved narrative. Back in July, similar words sparked real consequences. Careers ended. Lives were disrupted. The rules were enforced with a cold, sharp edge. And now, the fact that we're hearing this kind of talk again should make everyone stop and think, what is really going on behind the scenes? At the center of this storm stands Keir Starmer, or as some describe him, the man, the myth, the political PowerPoint presentation masquerading as a leader. The image is brutal but strangely accurate. Watching Starmer try to steer the country, according to critics, is like watching someone assemble IKEA furniture with no instructions, missing pieces, and absolutely no idea what the end result is supposed to look like. The confidence is there, but the competence? That's the part the British people are still waiting to see. But here's where the story turns sharply personal. One commentator recalls never having met Starmer, and being delighted to say so, yet their history runs deep.